today's video, I will share with you 3 noodle dishes that I absolutely love. As you know, I love cooking and I am obsessed with noodles, whether it is a ramen noodles from like an instant noodle package to pho to soba noodle or even pasta dishes. So my goal this year is to explore a lot of noodle dishes so that way I can get to enjoy different flavor, different cooking style, and overall try different types of pasta or even noodle dishes. For today's video, I'm trying 3 different noodle dishes and they're all vegan friendly. I am not fully vegan. I would say I'm 80-85% vegan. So for today, I'm using a lot of plant protein for my noodle dishes. For these 3 dishes, I actually don't have a recipe made ready to share yet. I like to try and add different ingredients in my recipe, and then I taste and try if I need a little bit of more salt or pepper or whatever the sauce may be. I put ingredients together, try, and really adjust as I go. So as you go through this video and you want a recipe for a particular dish or all the dishes, just comment down below and I will work on the recipe so I can share them with you all. The first meal is going to be spring roll. I love spring roll so much. I try to order it every time when I'm at a restaurant just because it is so fresh and delicious. If you order spring rolls from restaurants, you may get the peanut dipping sauce or the clear fish sauce that has a bit of a sweetness, a bit of spicy as well. Either way, it is so good. As much as I love ordering spring rolls at restaurants when I go out to eat, I also love making them at home just because it is more fresh, it is so much more delicious, and also it is way cheaper. So for today's ingredients, everything is so fresh, it is natural. First, I am going to remove the skin from the carrots. And if possible, if you have the little metal to remove the carrots into thin slices, that would be ideal. If not, you can certainly cut it into like a small slices using your knife. I love using carrots on spring rolls just because of that crunchiness when I bite into the roll. Next, I'm going to cut the bell pepper in small slices. You can certainly use any bell peppers you have around the house, so whether it is yellow, red, or green. And I also love adding cucumbers into my spring rolls just because of that crunchiness, and I love the taste of cucumber. It is so fresh. It reminds me of the spring and summer. For the herbs, I am using spring onions and chives. This is all optional. You can certainly use just the green spring onions or you can use chives, whichever one you can find in a grocery store. For this recipe, I am using tofu, so I'm just cutting them in small pieces and try to remove as much water as possible, and then just season it with salt, pepper, and oil to kind of soak in the flavor. Now, if you don't love tofu, if you're not a vegan and love yourself some meat, you can certainly add pork, chicken, or if you are a seafood lover, you can certainly add shrimp. So the option is endless. To cook the tofu to allow the color to be a little bit brown or yellow, I'm just adding a little bit of oil on the pan and then giving a little small spaces for the tofu to allow it to kind of cook through all together. Just keep checking on it until you see kind of yellow to brown color, and just flip it to the other side until you get the color and the consistency you want. Next, I'm going to cook the noodle according to the package instruction. While waiting for the noodle and tofu to be cooked, I am preparing a bowl with a mix of lettuce, herbs such as mint and basil that I have gotten from the Asian market. And this is all personal preference, so if you like a lot of herbs, then you can certainly put more, such as a lot more basil, mint, or only lettuce, so it's definitely a personal preference. However, if you put some just amazing herbs, the smell is amazing, especially when you dip it in the dipping sauce. It is so good. So for the sauce, instead of making the peanut dipping sauce, I'm going to make a light sauce that is a combination of lime juice, fish sauce, sugar. The sauce will provide a little bit of sweetness from the sugar, but a lot more acidity from lime juice and the fish sauce. You can certainly add some hot pepper on this sauce, which will be so good, and then just kind of mix them in together until the sugar is dissolved. When all of the ingredients are done, prepare a medium size or a large size bowl of room temperature water. To soften the rice paper, rotate the paper around for about 30 seconds until it softens a little bit, and then lay it flat on the surface. And then just put all of the ingredients you want, noodles, herbs, protein. To start rolling the spring roll, start from the back side and then fold it in from the right side and also the left side to the center, and then start rolling frontward until the roll is complete. It does not have to be perfect and the size does not matter. When I make spring rolls at home, I love making it for snacks, appetizers, and even for main dish, just because it is so healthy and so delicious. Also, a fun way for me to make spring roll is to have gatherings with friends, just because it is so entertaining and very engaging, but also a way for me to introduce my culture to my friends, so it is a win-win. My second dish is a pad thai. I love pad thai, whether it is with chicken, with shrimp, or just vegan. It is so flavorful, filling, and healthy as well. The first time I had pad thai was through my Thai friend whom was here temporarily. It was so delicious, authentic, and a bit of crunchy, nutty, and spicy. And I will always remember that delicious flavor profile. Today, I am recreating a vegan style. First, I'm going to cut the carrots in a julienne style to have that crunchy texture. In the meanwhile, I'm going to soak up the noodles to soften it a little. When possible, try to get a thick rice noodle so the noodles don't break in the process. For the herbs, I'm using Chinese chives and cutting it in a longer length just for presentation purposes. I'm also using bean sprouts for that crunchy and freshness flavor. Bean sprouts provide great source of antioxidant. For the protein, I'm using two types of mushrooms, the portobello mushrooms and the shiitake mushrooms, just for texture purposes. And then I'm going to cut the portobello mushrooms into smaller slices. To start cooking, I'm going to prepare the sauce first. I'm using the plum sugar, hoisin sauce, soy sauce, and a little bit of salt and pepper. And then let it cook for a little while until the plum sugar fully melts, and then bring the heat lower to let it shimmer and reduce for a little bit. Now, to be honest, the sauce is in the making progress. I will share more on the sauce once I get to experiment and like the flavor better. While the sauce is coming into reduction, I'm cooking the mushrooms. I'm using a bit of cooking oil and then let the minced ginger, shallots, and garlics infuse for a little bit, and then add the mushrooms in, let it sit for about 2 to 3 minutes or so. Once the mushrooms are about to be cooked, I am going to add the carrots, give it a little stir, And then finally add the noodles, chives, bean sprouts. Then I'm going to mix it in with the sauce, stir it well. For the peanuts, I roasted in the oven for about 10 minutes until it gets about golden brown, and then chop it up roughly and cook it with the noodles and also use it for the garnish. Pad Thai is one of my go-to dishes at Thai restaurants. So currently I'm still experimenting with flavor, and hopefully I will get it to the T where I will absolutely love it. So to be continued. It is good, but I want it to be better, so I will keep you all updated. The final dish is this Udon Miso soup. It is so delicious and I'm super excited to share with you all. The sauce is very flavorful, the meal is fresh, it is delicious, it is healthy. So let's get started. To start off, I am preparing the garnish of cilantro and green onions by chopping off very small pieces. Next, I'm slicing the bell peppers thinly like a julienne style, and then cutting the broccolini into bite sizes. I love broccolinis. You can certainly use broccoli if you have some around the house, but if you have broccolinis, it is just so amazing. Next, I'm going to cook the udon noodle according to the package instruction. In the meantime, I'm cutting the king oyster mushrooms for my protein into bite sizes. Also, I'm using the extra firm tofu as well, just to change it up. And then I'm going to mince the shallots and garlics and then slice the red onions into thin slices. Next, I'm going to prepare the pan with the cooking oil and then add in the shallots and garlics to infuse for a little bit. And then I'm going to put in the mushrooms and then season it with butcher herb seasoning, a little bit of salt and pepper, and then really allow the mushrooms to be sauteed in the pan for about 4 to 5 minutes until it has a beautiful brown color. And then flip it on the other side and then just repeat the process until it is brown again. Once mushrooms is halfway done, add in the broccolini and then tofu. I want my broccolini to be a bit of crunchy since the tofu is soft already. Finally, I'm going to add in the bell peppers and some lime juice, stir it well and set it aside. And the final step, I'm preparing the juice or soup in the pan with 2 cups of water. Add in the dashi sauce, mirin, soy sauce, and then bring it to boil. Then turn off the heat and mix in the miso paste until it is all dissolved in the soup. The fun part now is plating and putting all the ingredients together. This was very, very delicious. Filling, and oh my word, my new favorite dish this year. This is actually my first time experimenting with these ingredients, and I'm so glad that I took a chance on it because it turned out really delicious. Well, I hope you enjoy the dishes I have shared with you all. If you have tried any of the dishes in restaurants, making at home, or maybe someone have made them for you, I would love to hear your experience in the comment below. As always, thank you so much for tuning in, and I hope to see you again next week. Have a wonderful day. Bye-bye.